Welcome to the 2030 webinar series. This is the 13th installment, Researching Your Previously Placed Orders. The agenda for today consists of going over what the session is about. We'll be going over researching previously placed orders, specifically how to access submitted carts, how to view approval status of the carts, how to view associated purchase orders, vouchers, and/or receipts, as well as view supplier-related information for the transaction you submitted. We'll also go over available BearBuy resources and support, and then lastly, questions and answers. This session is intended for shoppers. It's only 30 minutes long, with the first 15 minutes going over researching placed orders, and the last 15 minutes solely dedicated to going over questions and answers. Now let's get started. Once your cart has been submitted, the cart is no longer listed within the View My Draft Cards section. So where did it go? The cart is now listed within the View My Orders Last 90 Days section, which is listed within the Shop, My Carts and Orders menu options. Through View My Orders, you're able to view carts you've submitted within the last 90 days, filter your list down to locate a specific transaction if you have a large outbox. You're also able to access the requisition, purchase orders, receipts, and vouchers associated to the cart you submitted. Let's now go ahead and perform this navigation in BearBuy. When you first log into BearBuy, the system will automatically take you to the BearBuy Home Shop page. From here, hover over or click on the Shop menu icon. Select or hover over the My Carts and Orders submenu option. And from the available options, select View My Orders Last 90 Days. So this section defaults to only show transactions you've submitted within the last 90 days. If you haven't submitted any transactions, you won't see any results. In that case, you could expand the date range options. Simply navigate to the date range filter, select the drop-down menu, and then from there, select your preferred date range option. In this case, I'm going to select all dates. BearBuy will then auto-refresh and show you all the transactions that meet that date range option criteria. In this example, after expanding the date range options to allow all dates, I now see 314 results. Once a cart has been submitted, it is then called a requisition, a request to purchase. All requisitions don't require the same approvals in BearBuy. For instance, the payment request form versus a $100 catalog purchase. Each transaction, requisition, purchase order, and voucher, has a tab within the transaction that details the visual workflow. This is extremely helpful when following up on an order that has been pending approval for several days. So for instance, this is how a requisition will look like in BearBuy. There's several tabs at the top, and then sub-tabs within certain tabs. The tab that we need to look at is the PR Approvals tab. Once this tab is selected, you'll be able to see the visual workflow for this transaction. Information displayed includes who submitted the cart, as well as when and what time, where this transaction is currently pending approval. In this case, it's currently active at the PR Creator step, so the Requisition Creator step, and it doesn't seem like anyone is working on this transaction. If a specific person was already processing this transaction, instead of seeing active, you would see their name. In this case, since it still states active, we can assume no one's working on this transaction. You'll also be able to see the steps that will occur after the PR Creator step. To view a list of individuals who can approve this transaction at any particular step, simply select the View Approvals link underneath that workflow step. That will then display the list of individuals who can potentially process this transaction. All documents related to a transaction are accessible through the requisition. Since a requisition may contain different items from different suppliers, the purchase order numbers associated to a requisition is listed on the line item detail of the requisition. From the purchase order, you'll be able to see associated vouchers and receipts. So now let's go ahead and demo this. We already know how to access a previously submitted requisition, but now we're going to show you where to navigate to find the purchase order number and then see the associated vouchers and receipts. In this example, we have already navigated to the View My Orders Last 90 Days section. Let's go ahead and select requisition number 1155907. From here, scroll down to view the line item detail. You'll then be able to see the purchase order number. Click on the purchase order number. You'll see different tabs within the PO. The Receipts tab contains a list of all receipts associated to this purchase order, and the Invoice tab shows all invoices associated to this purchase order as well. Once approvals are completed for a requisition and a purchase order is created for each supplier, you may experience the supplier not fulfill the order. There may be several reasons why the order is not yet delivered. Maybe weather related, the supplier never received a legible copy of the PO, and so on. In these cases, it's best to follow up with the supplier. But how can you access the supplier contact information? The supplier-related information is visible through the requisition. Simply navigate to the Shop menu, My Carts and Orders submenu, and then select the View My Orders Last 90 Days option. Then, select the requisition number of the transaction you're following up on. Once in the requisition, scroll down to the line item detail and then select the supplier name. That will then open up a pop-out window with the supplier's contact information. Let's now perform these steps. In this example, we've already navigated to the View My Orders Last 90 Days section. From here, select the requisition number of the transaction you wish to follow up on. Again, scroll down to the line item details. And then from here, select the supplier name. The supplier-related information will then be displayed. That concludes the presentation portion of this presentation. We're now going to review BearBuy resources and support. The BearBuy website is the source for the most up-to-date news, announcements, and training resources. The URL address to that website is supplychain.berkeley.edu/BearBuy. We also have our BearBuy YouTube channel. The URL address to our channel is youtube.com/user/BearBuy procurement. We also have the BearBuy Help Desk. The BearBuy Help Desk is the #1 place to stop for help. Their phone number, hours of operation, and email address is displayed in front of you. If you have any questions related to this webinar, please send them to bearbuyhelp@berkeley.edu. Thank you again, and thanks for watching.